Hey everyone, and welcome to Mysterious Lost. Today we're going to be talking about 11 people who disappeared in Yosemite National Park. Yosemite is one of the most popular national parks in the United States, and it's known for its stunning scenery and challenging hikes. But it's also a place where people have gone missing, and some of these cases have never been solved. This is a sensitive topic, and I want to assure you that I will be treating it with respect. I will not be making light of these tragedies, and I will not be speculating on the reasons for these disappearances. I am simply here to share the stories of these 11 people and to bring attention to the fact that they are still missing. So, if you're interested in learning more about these unsolved cases, please stay tuned for the rest of the video. 1. Peter Fancher. Jackson, 74 years old Jackson, was last seen in Yosemite National Park in California. He sent a text message to his son on September 17, 2016, saying he was on the way there. Authorities believe he disappeared after going for a day hike from his campsite at White Wolf Campground. He had paid camping fees through September 21st, and his vehicle was found at that particular campground. He has never been heard from again, and an extensive search, lasting until October, turned up no sign of him. Jackson was in excellent physical condition at the time of his disappearance, and had been known to go on moderate to strenuous hikes of around 5 miles. Is presumed to have become lost or injured in the area. 2. George Pensa Jr. 30 years old, Pensa was last seen in Yosemite National Park in California on June 17, 2011. He'd been hiking with a group of 20 people from his church. He was last seen getting water from Yosemite Creek at the top of Yosemite Falls. He was wearing a black tank top or a black t-shirt with the image of a dog tag reading Deon on the front, gray sweatpants with a white stripe down the leg, and gray and blue sneakers, carrying a blue cloth bag. The group went to the top of Upper Yosemite Falls at 2:40 p.m. Then they dispersed, with plans to meet up later to hike back to Yosemite Valley. Pensa didn't rejoin the group as arranged and has never been heard from again. He is presumed to have gotten lost or injured in the wilderness. 3. Stacy Adams. 14 years old Stacy was last seen while visiting Yosemite National Park with her father and 6 others on July 27, 1981. The group reached a cluster of cabins designed for overnight stay at Sunrise High Sierra Camp, tied up their horses, and went indoors to freshen up. Stacy changed clothes and left the cabin, carrying her camera so she could photograph the lake. Stacy's ears are pierced. She wears narrow upper and lower dental retainers. She smoked cigarettes at the time of her 1981 disappearance. Stacy invited her father to join her, but he declined, and an elderly man from their group went with her instead. They went downhill towards the lake, and the rest of the group watched them from above. They saw Stacy's companion sit down. Stacy walked further on towards the lake, went behind some trees, and disappeared from sight. After a few minutes, when she didn't return, the other members of the group went to look for her. An extensive search of the park, involving helicopters, dogs, and dozens of volunteers, turned up no indication of Stacy's whereabouts. The only trace ever found of her was the lens from her camera around the tree-line area where she was last seen. She lived in Saratoga, California, in 1981. 4. Michael Allen Fiser. 51 years old Fiser was last seen on June 15, 2005, while hiking alone near the Hetch Hetchy Reservoir in Yosemite National Park, California. He had gone on a trail that goes around the north end of the reservoir. Then he changed his mind and headed up to the Pacific Crest Trail. Fiser had a gray beard and mustache at the time of his disappearance, and his hair was shoulder length. He wears eyeglasses. He was wearing a faded blue or gray t-shirt with the sleeves ripped off, olive green or khaki shorts, and a torn pink or red scarf. Fiser has never been heard from again. His family became concerned when he did not return by June 19th, when his wilderness permit expired. On June 21st, they called the Park Service and a search was launched. Searchers found Fiser's backpack in the park near Till Mountain just off the trail. The location is not on his planned route and was on extremely rugged and hazardous terrain. A bottle of water, a camera, and a topographical map were missing from the backpack, and there was no sign of Fiser himself. Fiser is an experienced hiker and backpacker. He is believed to have become lost or injured while hiking. His case remains unsolved. 5. Kieran M Burke. 44 years old, Burke was a resident of Rotherham, Dublin, Ireland in 2000. He traveled to San Francisco, California for a 2-week vacation in April 2000. Burke reserved a hotel room near Yosemite National Park from April 4 through April 6. His family said he is adventurous and an experienced hiker. Burke was last seen in the Yosemite Valley at Curry Village on April 5th. He was on a day hike at the time. He has never been heard from again. His rental car was discovered parked in the Curry Village parking lot, but there was no sign of Burke at the scene. He may have been carrying a camera at the time of his disappearance. The search for Burke did not begin until April 11th, 6 days after he was last seen. An extensive search of the park produced no evidence as to his whereabouts. His case remains unsolved. 6. Timothy John Barnes. 24 years old, Barnes was a resident of Cucamonga, California in 1988. He left Tenaya Lakes near Highway 120 east of Tioga Road in California at approximately 9 a.m. on July 5, 1988. Barnes planned to hike from the Murphy Creek trailhead to Polydome Lakes in Yosemite National Park, which are located approximately 3 miles from Tenaya Lakes. He was supposed to return by 4:30 p.m., but never showed up, and has never been heard from again. He has a blue discoloration on his upper lip and a wart on the right side of his nose. His teeth appear grayish in color, and he has an orthopedic pin implanted in his left ankle. Barnes smoked Marlboro cigarettes at the time of his 1988 disappearance. His nickname is Tim. Barnes's friends reported him as a missing person to Park Service rangers the following morning. An extensive search of the surrounding area failed to produce any evidence as to his whereabouts. Barnes was declared legally dead on July 19, 1990, 2 years after his disappearance. His body has never been found. 7. Ruthan Rupert. 49 years old. Rupert was last seen in the Curry Village area or near the Yosemite Medical Clinic at Yosemite National Park at 12 p.m. on August 14, 2000. She had planned to go on a backpacking trip in the park, but had to postpone it due to an illness. She may have gone on a day hike from Yosemite Falls to the Foresta area. She has never been heard from again. Rupert has a prosthetic eye. In 2008, Rupert's backpack was found in the Fireplace Creek drainage. This would have been along her hiking route from Yosemite Falls to Foresta. There was no other sign of her, and her case remains unsolved. 8. Walther H Reinhard. 66 years old. Reinhard was last seen in Yosemite National Park on September 19, 2002. He is believed to have started a hike at the White Wolf Trailhead that day. He has never been heard from again, and on September 30th his vehicle was found abandoned at the trailhead. Reinhard is presumed to have gotten lost or injured in the wilderness. 9. Deon Kajian. 20 years old Kajian was last seen at Camp Curry Village in Yosemite National Park in California on July 24, 1972. He asked the registration desk attendant how to get to Half Dome. He has never been heard from again. He has a dark-colored mole on the back of his right hand near his wrist. He is of Armenian descent and speaks English with a pronounced British accent. Kajian was a medical student at Cambridge University in England at the time of his disappearance. He was vacationing in the U.S., with plans to visit Florida after his stay at Yosemite. He is presumed to have gotten lost or injured in the wilderness. 10. David Paul Morrison. 28 years old Morrison was last seen in Little Yosemite Valley in Yosemite National Park at 7:15 a.m. on May 25, 1998. He disappeared while hiking to Half Dome and has never been heard from again. Few details are available in his case. Morrison has a birthmark on his right earlobe and a scar on the bridge of his nose. Although Morrison is an experienced hiker, he wasn't equipped for an overnight trip at the time of his disappearance. Neither was he dressed for the cold, wet weather. He is presumed to have gotten lost or injured in the park. 11. Richard Judd. Judd was last seen on July 25, 2021, on a day hike from his camp near Lower Merced Pass Lake to Red Peak Pass. He is 69 years old and was wearing a blue shirt and gray pants and was reportedly using white trekking poles with a navy blue day pack. Judd is 5'11" in and 150 pounds, with brown eyes, short graying hair, and a beard. If you have any information about any of the cases mentioned in this video, please contact the Yosemite National Park Service at 209-379-1992. You can also contact the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System. Well, that's it for today's video. I know that these cases are very disturbing, and they can make us feel uneasy about visiting Yosemite National Park. But it's important to remember that Yosemite is a very safe place. Millions of people visit the park every year, and the vast majority of them have no problems. However, it's also important to be prepared for the unexpected. If you're planning a trip to Yosemite, make sure to tell someone where you're going and when you expect to be back. And always be aware of your surroundings and take precautions to stay safe. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like and comment on this video, and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe.